Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parabhijakacharya Asto Tadasutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parabhijakacharya Asto Tadasutta Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Sri Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prayam Sikao Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shai Mukunda Radha Kundgiri Govardhan Ki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanande All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Devasesha Sambhavani Pastapade Shatani. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So good morning. Thank you all for coming. Today's class in the beautiful Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 64. What are the verses today? 6 through 12. Sa uttama shloka karambishrito. Sa uttama shloka karabinrishto. Vihaya sadya kri kalasa rupam. Vihaya sadya Krikalasya Rupam Santapachami Karacharu Varna Swargad Bhutal Lankaranam Nambarak Shrak Sautamaha Shloka Karam Visristo Vihaya Sadya Kripakalasya Rupam Santapachami Karacharu Varnaha Svaryad Bhutalan Karanam Varasrak. I was chanting the wrong one, right? Which one is this one? Huh? Oh, okay, we'll get there. Should I chant that one now? I'm your servant. Please tell me. We can chant that one. Let's chant 12 together, huh? You want to? Yavat yaha sikata bhumer Yavat yo divi tarakaha Yavat yo varsha darascha Tavatir adadam smagaha Yavat ya shathaka bhumer Yavyatyo divi tarakaha Yavatyo varshadarascha Tavatir adadam smagaha Yavata sikata bhumer Yavatyo divi tarakaha Yavatyo varshadarascha Tavatir adatam smagaha. So we'll do the word for word when we get to this verse, okay? So I'll read the other verses leading up to this. Sahutamaha shloka kara bimristo yata yahayat sadya Kalasarupam satampachami karacharu varnaha svar adya adbhutak dalankaranam barakasrak. Translation. Touched by the hand of the glorious Supreme Lord, the being at once gave up his lizard form and assumed that of a resident of heaven. His complexion was beautifully colored like molten gold, and he was adorned with wonderful ornaments, clothes, and garlands. Papratya vidvanapitan nidanam janeshu vikyabhaitam mukhandaha kastvam mahabhagavarenyo rupo devotvam tvam ganyamayi nunam. Lord Krishna understood the situation, but to inform the people in general, he inquired as follows: Who are you, O greatly fortunate one? Seeing your excellent form, I think you must surely be an exalted demigod. Dasamimam va katakmena karmana samprajito shatad arhasubhadra atmanam akyahai vivitsatam no yan manasena shaman atra vaktum. Translation. By what past activity were you brought to this condition? It seems you did not deserve such a fate, O good soul. We are eager to know about you, so please inform us about yourself, if, that is, you think this the proper time and place to tell us. Sri Sukuvacha Itishma Raja Samprishtaha Krishna Nenanta Murtinaha Madhavan Paripatyaha Kiritani Narka Varchasaha. Sukadev Goswami said, thus questioned by Krishna, whose forms are unlimited, the king, his helmet dazzling as the sun, bowed down to the Lord, Madhava, and replied as follows. Nriga uvacha nrigonam narendroham ishvakutanaya prabho danishvakhayam manishu yarite karman ashprisam. Translation. King Nriga said, I am a king known as Nriga, the son of Ishvaku. Perhaps, Lord, you have heard of me when lists of charitable men were recited. The purport here. The Acharyas point out here that although a tentative expression is used, perhaps you have heard of me, the implication is that there is no doubt. Surely you've heard of me. You're Krishna. You've heard everything. Text 11. Kim nu te viditam natha sarvabhutatma sakshinaha kalena yathatadrisho vakshe tapi tav gaya tava gaya. Translation. What could possibly be unknown to you, O Master, with vision undisturbed by time? You witness the minds of all living beings. Nevertheless, on your order I will speak. Purport. Since the Lord knows everything, there is no need to inform him about anything. Still, to fulfill the Lord's perfect purpose, King Nigra will speak. Yavatyaha shikhata bhumer yavatyo divitarakaha yavatyo barsha darascha tavatir adam adatam smagaha. So we'll do the word for word. Yavataha, as many. Sikataha, grains of sand. Bhumehe, belonging to the earth. Yavatya, as many. Divi, the sky. Taraka, stars. Yavataya, as many. Varsha, of a rainfall. Daraha, drops. Cha, and. Tavati, that many. Adadam, I gave. Sma, indeed. Gaha, cows. I gave in charity as many cows as there are grains of sand on the earth, stars in the heaven, or drops in a rain shower. Purport. The idea here is that the king gave innumerable cows in charity. Om Agyantamarindasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Nadanti Swapadantikam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radha Vrindavaneshwari Brishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Banchakalpa Tarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhupe Cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, this is interesting, huh? So I'm going to read all the verses together quickly. So if you remember, the boys found this creature in a well, in a dry well, and they thought, oh, let's save him. You can't leave him in here. So they tried so many different ways to get this creature out, and they failed. So as soon as there was some hardship, they decided, let's go see Krishna. Let's go see Krishna and see what he suggests. So Krishna heard of this marvelous creature, unusual creature in the well, and he came, and with his left hand, he reached in and easily picked the creature up. So now, as soon as Krishna's hand touched this unusual creature, touched by the hand of the glorious Supreme Lord, the being at once gave up his lizard form and assumed that of a resident of heaven. His complexion was beautifully colored like molten gold, and he was adorned with wonderful ornaments, clothes, and garlands. Verse 7. Lord Krishna understood the situation, but to inform people in general, he inquired as follows: Who are you, O greatly fortunate one? Seeing your excellent form, I think you must surely be an exalted demigod. Text 8. By what past activity were you brought to this condition? It seems you did not deserve such a fate. O good soul, we are eager to know about you. So please inform us about yourself, if, that is, you think this is the proper time and place to tell us. Text 9. Sukadeva Goswami said, thus questioned by Krishna, whose forms are unlimited, the king, his helmet as dazzling as the sun, bowed down to the Lord Madhava and replied as follows. Text 10. King Nriga said, I am known as King Nriga, the son of Ishvaku. Perhaps, Lord, you have heard of me when lists of charitable men were recited. Text 11. What could possibly be unknown to you, O Master, with vision undisturbed by time? You witness the minds of all living beings. Nevertheless, on your order I will speak. Text 12. Translation, I gave in charity as many cows as there are grains of sand on the earth, stars in the heavens, or drops in a rain shower. So the king is explaining here who he was. You know, Krishna wants to know. In the verses coming, we're going to find out, how did he get in such a situation? He's obviously a very charitable person. So I think it's interesting. In text 7, I think. Yeah, Krishna understood the situation. But to inform people in general, he inquired as follows, who are you? O greatly fortunate one, seeing your excellent form, I think you must surely be an exalted demigod. Well, we all know that Krishna knew who he was. Krishna's talking to his part and parcel. So Krishna knows who this is. He knows the entire story. But he inquired for the benefit of those ears that are there with him, the boys that found this creature. He wants them to know, who is this creature? What's the story here? How did you get here? So Krishna knows, but he wants to share this information with everyone. Not only that, but because Lord Krishna made that inquiry, it's being shared with us. So Krishna wants to share all this knowledge. He wants us to know. He doesn't necessarily want to keep us in the dark, not knowing. Krishna wants us to know, you see. Even though Arjuna knew perfectly well the Bhagavad Gita, he and Krishna had this conversation. For what purpose? If Arjuna already knew, then what's the purpose? It's for you, so that you will hear it. Krishna makes so many conversations. He knows so much, but yet he inquires. Why? So that we will hear it. It's for our benefit. So we can see that Krishna is always living up to this Shurid title. He gives himself that title, Shurid. Shuridam Sarva Bhutanam. Shurid is the best friend. What is it? There's 3 kinds of friends that are listed in the Bhagavad Gita. There is the Mitra. Mitra is the casual friend, you know, like a next door neighbor. You know, you see your next door neighbor, hi, how are you? You don't really care, but you, hi, you know. And then there's the Bandhu. Is this better? Then there's the Bandhu. The Bandhu is the official friend, like an uncle. Uncle is there. Uncle is your friend. Now, you may not like your uncle, but officially he's your friend. Okay? So then there's the Shurid. Shurid is the best friend. The Shurid is the one that you go to when you're in distress, when you really, really need a friend. So Krishna says, I am that Shurid. Shuridam Sarva Bhutanam. We have to get to the point where we not only understand that, but that we use that as a filter in our mind to process whatever is going on in our lives at any given moment. Shuridam sarva bhutanam. Whenever things get a little difficult, we should remember, Krishna, you're my dearmost friend and ever well-wisher. I can always depend on you. If I can't depend on you, Krishna, who else is there? Shuridam sarva bhutanam. I am the dearmost friend and ever well-wisher of all living entities. So, for the benefit of us, Krishna is asking this creature, who are you? Tell me your story. He speaks Bhagavad Gita for our benefit so that we can hear it. And not only we can hear it, but we can preach it. We can share it with those whom we come in contact with. We can share it to the lost living entities caught in the material world. So Krishna is always everyone's dearmost friend, and you can return this friendship by spreading Krishna's words. Why, we read something in Srimad Bhagvatam, we should discuss it. If you have Facebook, put it on Facebook. If you read something interesting, we read every day, right? Surely we read something that's kind of interesting. You know, something Krishna said. I'm not talking about something in the news. Something that is in Shastra, or a quote from Guru, or quote from the sadhus. So we spread that. We don't spread gossip. We have so many other things that we spread. We spread the absolute truth, you see. So it's like the devotees. So many people use things like Facebook and WhatsApp and other things. They misuse it for so many things. You know, I mean, I don't know what people are trying to do. I get these unusual messages. I got one on, I don't really use Telegram. Is it Telegram or Telegraph? You know that, huh? Telegram. So I got that because when I meet people, I don't know how they communicate. Do they communicate by phone text, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram? So I got them all, just so that I can communicate with different people that I meet around the world. So yesterday I had this message from someone that I don't know on Telegram. And they're saying, would you like to get together and have a drink tonight? You know, I'm wondering, well, what type of drink? Are you talking some sort of a nice lassi or something? Or then I figured it out, you know, what somebody's talking about. Well, they don't know me. Well, what's going on? What's the game here? I don't know. I don't care. But let's block this person. You see? So whatever they're trying to do with Telegram, I don't know. I don't understand. But it's not to spread Krishna consciousness. I don't think so. Do you think? Maybe it was legitimate. Maybe they wanted to get together, have some lassi or something, huh? I think so. Something nonsense. But give it to the devotees. You give these platforms to the devotees, and what do? We purify it. We transcendentalize it. We Krishnaize it. Why, on Facebook, you've got the devotees, they have pictures of Krishna, quotes from Srimad Bhagvatam, quotes from Bhagavad Gita, pictures of Srila Prabhupada, quotes from Prabhupada. So it's actually refreshing. When I go into Facebook. Now, someone told me, I didn't have Facebook before I became a devotee. There was no Facebook 50 years ago. So, And they said if I had had a Facebook before I became a devotee, I might get more nonsense on Facebook. But basically all I get on Facebook is quotes from Guru, Sadhus, and Shastra. Pictures of Krishna, deities, stories. So that's all I get. It's actually very refreshing for me. But the devotees have learned how to transcendentalize these platforms of communication. You see? Leave it up to Krishna's devotees and we use it to spread Krishna's name, forms, pastimes, attributes. So many wonderful stories. I have one godbrother that we have a program that we send each other a picture of Prabhupada every day. He sends me a picture, I send him a picture. And so we do like that. That's the only way we use Facebook, you know. So it's very refreshing. So we, the devotees of Krishna, we want to, as a service to Krishna, we want to spread these pictures, these likenesses of Krishna, pictures of the deities, stories from Krishna book, Shastra, quotes from the previous acharyas, so much. We can go on and on and on. So if I want a refreshing moment, all I have to do is, for me, I just have to go into Facebook and I can read some nice, really nice shlokas. So, but I don't, sometimes there's people who try to spread some politics, but there's also block. Let me block this person. You know, we can always block them. I don't want to hear this person. Block. You're out of here, gone. Go somewhere else to spread your politics. You see? So this is following in the footsteps of Lord Krishna. He's using this media of these books to spread his words. You see? He's speaking to Arjuna. It wasn't a private conversation. It wasn't like Krishna and Arjuna are talking and all these other millions of souls are out there. Nobody's paying any attention. Everyone is listening. Everyone was inquisitive. What does Krishna have to say? So for the benefit of those ears that want to hear, Krishna is speaking. And it's recorded. And it's been said, repeated, time and time again, for thousands of years. You see, still going on. Jai, Sri Sri Gaur. So, Krishna knows who this great personality is. But for the purpose of the souls that are gathered about, the boys that are there, he's asking, who are you? For your benefit. He knows. He's not forgetting those boys that are there. He's not forgetting you. He's not forgetting this moment when we'll be reading, you see. The next verse, by what past activity were you brought into this condition? It seems that you did not deserve such a fate, O good soul. We are eager to know about you. Please inform us about yourself. And then he says, if, that is, this is the proper time and place for you to tell us. Well, why would Krishna say that? You notice Krishna isn't giving him a direct order. He is saying, please tell us about yourself and how you got into this. But then, as the perfect gentleman, he says, that is however, if you think this to be the proper time, place, and circumstance. You see? That's something that a kind and dear friend would do, isn't it? It's not like Tell me who you are. Tell me your story. Like a policeman. You know, the policeman says, do you have any identification? Can I see your passport? No, Krishna is so kind and loving. Please tell me. Tell us. If you think that this is a good time for you. There's no pressure. You see? Krishna is coming off as the dearmost friend. Sukadeva Goswami then says, thus questioned by Krishna, whose forms are unlimited, the king, his helmet as dazzling as the sun, bowed down to Lord Madhava and replied as follows. Notice how Sukadeva Goswami and previous acharyas, they never pass up a chance to glorify Lord Krishna. They always praise Lord Krishna. It's not an empty praise the Lord kind of thing. Because Sukadeva Goswami says, thus questioned by Lord Krishna, whose forms are unlimited, well, he can't just say, thus questioned by Krishna, and goes. He has to take a moment to slip in some praise. Huh? Isn't that nice? This is poetic. This is the poetry that goes with loving relationships. Why, he can't just think of Krishna. He's got to stop and praise Krishna as he's talking about Krishna. Why, Lord Krishna, whose forms are unlimited. It's not fake. This is feeling from his heart. He feels this. I must say something about Krishna. You see, the one whose forms are unlimited. Very nice. King Nriga said, I am known as King Nriga, the son of Ishvaku. Perhaps, Lord, you have heard of me when the lists of charitable men were recited. Well, of course. Krishna has heard of you. He knows all of your activities, all of your praiseworthy activities, and most of the ones that are not so praiseworthy. He knows those too. So, but again, for the benefit of everyone, the king is speaking so that Krishna, who already knows, plus the boys that are with Krishna and us, so that we can all hear this story. This is important. It's important. He has audience with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's following a very wonderful protocol. You see? This is all very wonderful exchange. Very paka, first class. So the king went on to say, what could possibly be unknown to you, O Master, with vision undisturbed by time? You witness the minds of all living beings. Nevertheless, on your order I will speak. This is another example of how exalted personalities never pass up an opportunity to glorify Krishna. Is this some sort of flattery? It's praise. It's praise. This is especially easy if Krishna is standing right there in front of you, isn't it? You see? So, we should think like that when we're talking about Krishna. We should be more descriptive of Krishna's glories, his attributes. You see? We should think like that. The example is being given here. Vision undisturbed by time. I find this especially interesting because time kind of interrupts and disturbs everything, doesn't it? It's like there's two sides to time. We're on one side, looking up. And in the spiritual world, Lord Krishna and the Nitya Siddhas, the liberated souls, they're on the other side where there really is no time, and they're looking down. So this is a very interesting comparison here. To us, we're thinking that, oh, it takes so long. It takes so long to do this. Sometimes if things are going badly, it seems like time slows down, doesn't it? Things are being bad. Like if your mother is chastising you. Oh, will this ever end? You know? And yet, they say time flies when you're having fun. When you're having a good time, it seems like time goes so fast. But overall, it seems like this life is just crawling by, doesn't it? It's taking its time. Well, however, sometimes we can look back and we can see that it looks like it's been a short time. And then when we're waiting for something in the future, it seems like it could be a long time. So we're confused by this time. It makes us, it's very confusing to us. This time is brought to this material world by Krishna. Krishna says, time I am, destroyer of worlds. So Krishna comes as this Kala, eternal time. It's the destroyer of the world. If Krishna did not come as time, then this world would last forever. Krishna is the complete whole. Everything that emanates from the complete whole is also complete and perfect. So this world would last for eternity. Because it comes from Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. But he comes as time to give duration. This duration is confusing to the living entity, to the part and parcel. Because we are eternal. We're an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. We have no beginning. We have no end. There is no duration in our home, in the spiritual world. There's no passing of time. Here, we're in this material world associating as if we are this body amongst other people's, and I think that you're your body, you see. And so we have this duration. Things here have a beginning and they have an end. In between, there's duration. And this is very unsettling for us, because as eternal living entities, this is kind of difficult for us to understand. We actually believe that this world is, that time is crawling by. But for you, the eternal part and parcel, is time moving? Huh? So you come to this material world and you're here for hundreds of billions, trillions of years, right? So many births in 8,400,000 species of life. Why, it seems like an eternity of its own. We're here so long. And yet, on the other side of time, in the spiritual world, these hundreds of billions and trillions of years aren't even a nanosecond. On the other side, in the reality, where there really is no such thing as time, how long were you gone? So this is our perception. We're confused by this time element because of our identification with the body. We're very confused. It's very unsettling. How does he say it? With vision undisturbed by time. Krishna is time. He's not disturbed by time. We get disturbed by time. We don't have to be disturbed by time. You see? It's like Srila Prabhupada. He once told a gentleman that he met in the park in New York before the devotees came to him, when he was alone in New York. He made this comment that I have hundreds of temples all over the world, thousands of disciples. And this gentleman that he was with saw that, no, you just live on the street like I do. You're alone. And so he said, why, Swami, if you have all these temples and all these disciples, where are they? And Prabhupada said, they are there. We are simply separated by time. So Prabhupada could see, yes, it's there. Time is in the way. Time will move. As it moves, that will come. You see? So, Prabhupada was undisturbed by time. Although he was very urgent, he knew that he had very little time. To him, he felt like, I don't have enough time to do this mission. This is a big mission that my spiritual master has sent me on. It's a big mission. So I don't think I have enough time. Prabhupada was urgent. Do it now, now, now. Spread this movement. You see? So, but here we are. If we let ourselves, we can become disturbed very easily by time. Krishna is time. He's never disturbed by time. And then that last one, he says, I gave in charity as many cows as there are grains of sand on the earth. Stars in the heaven are drops in rainwater. So that sounds like a lot of cows, doesn't it? So this is a pretty amazing, empowered individual. Why, where can such power come from? Only from Krishna. He's empowered by Krishna to give in charity like this. He has a strong desire to give in such tremendous charity. And we'll discuss this in days to come. Do you detect a note of pride in what he's saying? Is there a little bit of pride there? Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. So the story will continue in the 64th chapter as we go on. So right now, do we have any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji.
How to remain undisturbed by time?
Huh?
How to remain undisturbed by time?
Well, we don't need to be disturbed by it, but like Srila Prabhupada was aware of it. On the other side, in the spiritual world, time isn't something we have to be concerned about. On this side, well, time is there, the time element. So I need to perform my mission for Guru and Krishna. And so I have a limited amount of time in this material world to do it. So I wouldn't let that disturb me, but it should sober me. I should become sober and not waste time. Prabhupada used to say often, don't waste time. Don't waste time. Chant Hare Krishna. Don't waste your time. You see, we only have so much time to perfect ourselves to the point of going back to Godhead. So that should make us sober. Not so disturbed. Well, Krishna is there to help us if we're sincere and we want to go back to Godhead. So we shouldn't let it disturb us, but still we should keep some urgency and not become complacent. Urgent. How much more service can I do? There are some people who have this desire to do so much service. I remember when I was making a trip across different temples in the United States, in North America. I think this was in the early 80s, I think 1980. And so I was leaving Dallas to go on this trip. And so Tamal Krishna Maharaj was always giving me instruction that he'd heard from Prabhupada. And he said, when you get to a temple, if you have something that you need to get done, go to the busiest person in the temple and ask them to do it. Then it will get done. If you think the other way, like, well, if someone is not so busy, then maybe they have time to do this for me. The reason why they are not so busy is because they're not going to take time. They're not looking for more service. You find people, they're so busy. They're doers. So they're urgent. And they want to do more and more and more and more. So he said, you find the busiest person you can find and ask them to do it. And it may seem like logically, well, that's the wrong person. They have too much to do, but they want to do more. Find the busiest person in the temple. Ask them. They'll get it done. The person who has so much time, he'll never be able to work it into his busy schedule. So we don't let time disturb us, but we should be aware of it, and we should be urgent. We shouldn't lose track of it. I have a problem of losing track of time. I have a problem of scheduling too many things, and so I end up being late. I think, well, I can do this and then this and then this and then this and be on time for this, but I'm usually wrong. So, does that answer your question? Anything else? Yes, Prabhuji.
Maharaj, you were telling about the modern gadgets or the tools that we are using now, Facebook and all those things, which probably you might have never seen. So my question is, when Prabhupada preached, he never used all these things to preach. So how much it is necessary at the present day to use these things for preaching? Is it really necessary, or we can do preaching as much as without using all these things? What is your opinion?
Well, Prabhupada used every facility that the world put in front of him to serve his spiritual master. The dictaphone, he used that. Telephone, he used that. Airplanes, ships, cars, whatever was there that could help him spread this movement, that could help him in his service to Guru and Krishna. He used it for Krishna's service. And therefore it became, as Prabhupada said, Krishnaized. The dictaphone becomes Krishnaized when you use it. If you're using it for mundane dictation for letters, it's just material, it's mundane. If you use it in the service of Guru and Krishna, then it's Krishnaized. And so, why not Facebook? Why? We can reach thousands of people. Why, it's so refreshing. I have some God brothers and God sisters that put out such wonderful posts from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagvatam, Krishna book, Bhagavad Gita, and such wonderful pictures. And I'm wondering, where do they get these beautiful deity pictures? You see? And so they're Krishnaizing the whole internet. But they use Facebook, not for nonsense, fully Krishna consciousness. So, I mean, I'm convinced that Facebook, for one, WhatsApp, we communicate on WhatsApp, texting. Why, this is very good. We didn't used to have this facility. Now we have it. Why, even though you may be on the other side of the world, we can communicate immediately. We didn't used to be able to do that. Well, the quickest communication we had was maybe telegram. And that took a long time. And it wasn't cheap. Letters, Prabhupada wrote so many letters that went through the mail. Took a long time. They could get lost. You see? Nowadays, it's free. It's instant. So the devotee uses that. We seize this opportunity to use this facility to serve Guru and Krishna. And we purify the whole thing the way we use it. Others may misuse it. I still don't know what the angle was that this person had on Telegram. You know, asking if I want to go out for a drink. I mean, are they going to try to sell me something or, you know, but I'll never know. I'm curious. Why would you send that? You know, I don't understand. So they're obviously not trying to spread Krishna consciousness. You see? Krishna Charan Prabhu. You know Krishna Charan? Yeah, he's got that Gita Daily. You know? Huh? Chaitanya Charan, yeah. Krishna Charan is my disciple. Yeah. Chaitanya Charan. He was just through Tucson a few weeks ago. We had a nice meeting. He's very, very genius. Amazing. And so look how he uses the internet. He puts so much preaching out there. So much. He purifies the entire internet by his preaching, you know. He has this genius and he spreads it so much. Refreshing. No politics. Refreshing Krishna consciousness. You see? So we can do that. The question is, as always, will you? We have free will. We don't have to. We don't have to serve Guru and Krishna. You don't have to do this. You have free will. Maya is there ready to accept your loving devotional service 24/7. Maya is there. Come. She's always ready. You see? She'll accept your service. And there's probably going to be some reward, which will lead to some degradation, I'm sure. So we have free will. We can engage it in our devotional service, or we can engage it in our degradation. We can degrade our minds by it. We can degrade our minds by the improper use of anything. Improper use of our mouth, improper use of our eyes, ears. We can, you see, the senses and the mind are ready to degrade you at any minute. Maya is always at your service. Is that a good answer? Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for your beautiful class on the concept of how to use Facebook and the internet for the service of Krishna, for refreshing enthusiasm in Krishna consciousness. I just wonder, one time Prabhupada, he happened to get a news of devotees asking him to use telex, a machine by there which could enhance the mail and things like that. So Prabhupada, when he heard that devotee want this telex, he immediately said, no, we can't use this because this devotee will simply do gossiping. So we find, although Prabhupada used so many facilities, Acharya, Yukta Vairagya, but when we hear this episode of telex, Prabhupada is stopping it with having concern that devotees may use it for gossiping. I really wonder how much we are really going to um, suggest devotees for using Facebook, internet, and other things, because you may block the things which is not so appropriate. But before you may block, our attention may be blocked by, by some content may be there which could arrest our attention, which will lead to which may lead to sensual or mental agitation. So how much we are really encouraging devotees for using Facebook, internet and things, knowing well that not everyone is in a position to really use it for the service of Krishna.
Say that last part again.
Knowing well that not everyone is qualified to properly use these things for the service of Krishna, for the missionary service.
Yeah. All of you are qualified. Anyone can read a verse. Are you qualified to read a verse? So then you can copy that verse and put that on Facebook. It doesn't take much qualification. The thing is, we stick to Krishna consciousness. You see? What is it that we would like to share? So let's say you have 1,000, 4,000 followers on Facebook. And if you share one verse, you read some verse, surely every day we read something that enlivens us. We read something, oh, this is very nice. Oh, yeah. So then, why not copy that? Put it on your Facebook. So thousands of people get a chance to see it. Why not? What qualification does it take?
You may like to share the things, but you are also exposed to so many other things. While you're using these things, you're also exposed to so many non-devotional contents. Or there is every curiosity to watch and see what other things are there. So these curiosity and the exposure to the non-devotional content has a potential to dilute our purity.
Yeah, that's a concern. Like I said, I didn't have Facebook before I became a devotee. And so this is the explanation some people give me. I don't have these things on my Facebook. I don't have these non-devotional things except for some advertisements. You know, I get some advertisement for a credit card or something, but not so much, really. Most of what I get is just devotees posting some very nice things. So I don't get any of this. Some people have an active group of people and they're dealing in nonsense on Facebook before they become devotees, And that sets the algorithm to the point that that stuff will come through to them. Now I'm not a computer scientist, but that's the way it was explained to me. Well, I didn't have that period, so for me, I don't get those things. But if you get that kind of disturbing thing, then don't use it. If it causes you disturbance, forget it. Forget it. Use whatever it takes for communication. Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever. We need communication. We need to communicate. So use that. Use whatever does not deter you from advancing in Krishna consciousness, and whatever you can use. Whatever will help you. We have to use our intelligence. And if necessary, you get together and maybe discuss it amongst yourselves. What should we do about this? You see? So it can become very useful, and I can understand how it could become very detrimental. Because from what I hear, some people are just bombarded by this nonsensical garbage. So if it's disturbing, abandon it. Let it go. You don't have to do that. Does that make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji. Also, could you please like to explain that story of Prabhupada not encouraging devotees for using that telex machine? If you know the details of that story, why Prabhupada was not encouraging to have the use of that machine, which could have enhanced the communication in the 70s?
Is your question, would Prabhupada have used?
There was a suggestion by devotees, the machine called telex, I believe. Telex? Some machine was there which was used, telex, which was there for enhancing the communication. And when Prabhupada was suggested, he said, no, our devotee will simply use this for gossiping. So will not use this. So just want to hear more about this story, why Prabhupada so much, which had a potential to even enhance the preaching, although it had the risk of devotees getting into gossiping or other distractions.
Well, then we have to avoid that for sure. We don't want to use it for gossiping. And if we can't, then we should stay off of social media. If we can't avoid using social media for gossip, then we should stay off. If we can't avoid using social media for politics, we should stay off. But we can utilize our free will to use social media to spread Krishna consciousness. I see that. I witness it from so many people. Some of their posts are just amazing. I try to read one before I take rest at night. There's a few people that I'll always see when I look at Facebook. I don't have time to look at it very much. And there's always some really wonderful verses. You see? So, and that's just the way mine works for me. I don't know. But I don't see so many people. Maybe because over the years I've blocked all the political people and the gossipers and like that. I mean, there's many people that I've blocked. So let's use it for our service. Jai. Okay, thank you all so very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.